How are we doing, everybody? I am Jeff Hoke here with Chris Henrique and Kevin Perdios, and this is Shorthanded Takes, a Boston Bruins podcast, episode 18, brought to you by Couch Guy Sports, sponsored by Shocked Energy and Exogun. Speaking of Shocked Energy, ever feel unable to focus, tired, and just low on energy? We understand that feeling. We understand it so well that Shorthanded Takes, a Boston Bruins podcast, is brought to you by Couch Guy Sports Network and sponsored by our friends over at Shocked Energy. It is a drink made for gamers by gamers. Head over to shockedenergy.com and use the promo code CGSN today for 10% off your next order. That is CGSN today for 10% off your next order. I should have ordered one of those given the fact I have turning week coming up here in Maine, and it's going to be sleepless nights for me. I already get sleepless nights, but that's besides the point. So as we speak right now, the Bruins and Rangers are tied at 1 apiece. They're coming off of a win against the Senators and a brutal loss against the Carolina Hurricanes. That was the Carolina Hurricanes game was the first game without Marchand and the first game without Bergeron. So we all kind of figured that was coming. I didn't think it would be that bad, but here we are, 6-0.
They had a player that could step up, but no one did.
Yeah, no one did.
Like Charlie Coyle, like he could have stepped up, but
he stepped up today. He scored a goal. The mayor of
Jake DeBrusk. We're just gonna throw that out there. He wants to be.
You know what really helped out? Brad Marchand.
Yeah. What do you do again? Oh yeah, just an ass hat.
Speaking of that, he is appealing his suspension. Not that that's going to do anything, but that is.
We'll get into that later. That
is on the list of things to talk about today. But first, we must recap. Yeah, we just recapped the Hurricanes game, so we don't need to recap that. Senators game, 1-2-0. Swayman shutout in that game. Curtis Lazar and Trent Frederick both with the goals. So it was good to see some other scorers stepping up, given the fact they did not have Bergeron and or Marchand. I'm not going to get into that though, because I can just see the steam coming out of Chris's ears. I don't
use them.
But I'm going to toss it to Chris first. Just your little your take on the last two games here for the Bruins post-apocalyptic game.
Well, they beat the team they were supposed to beat, which was the Senators. It would have been nice to see them beat the Hurricanes. It's a good hockey club. I am a little disappointed that Charlie Coyle was pretty much a no-show in that game. I don't think he registered a shot on net until like the third period. Every time there's a moment that Charlie Coyle can go and step up, I feel like he just continues to disappoint, which continues now to make me believe and think that the Bruins need to find a legitimate, true number two, slide Coyle down to the third line where he truly and rightfully belongs. It's the type of player that he is. You need guys to step up when you have players who act like asshats and get suspended. I feel like that even, I'm meshing two games together here. But true test obviously is, can they win tonight? Can they beat the Rangers? Can they go and take two of their last three and, go ahead and nab 4 out of the last 6 points in the last 3 games? I think that is what ultimately, I think in some combination we had last week with these 3 games. So before, they go on, as we'll talk about a little bit, the West Coast. So I don't know. I thought it was a good win against the Senators. It's a team they needed to beat. I'm happy that they ended up winning, because if not, I think the conversation would be a lot different, especially with the fact that, arguably their best player is watching because he had a temper tantrum.
He's in timeout right now.
Sports Penguins. So,
in the words of us youngsters over here, he is in timeout right now.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'll get over this whole like Marchand thing eventually. Like, I'll let it go.
Oh, 100%.
But like right now, like, and I read a bunch of things on Twitter. You get Bruins fans who like applauded it. Like, really? Like, you like the fact that Marchand punched the goalie of the other team, hit him with his stick. Oh, by the way, he's gonna miss 6 games. Glad you like that. And
I think the punching the goalie wasn't the issue. I think it was the stick to the face that was the biggest issue, because it was literally a high stick, and then he got up underneath the mask. Obviously, I mean, it's his own fault for punching a goalie mask. I mean, that's what you're gonna get. You punched a goalie mask with a bared knuckle. I mean, that's a punishment within itself. So I mean, that's just stupid. That's like a football player punching another football player with a helmet on. It's like, why? It makes no sense to do that. You're just gonna risk hurting your hand at this point. Kevin,
I'll let it go. I'll eventually let it go. But right now,
yeah,
it's hurting the standings.
yeah,
so.
no, 100%. Yeah, they've fallen. They've fallen to the last wild card spot right now. Is where they are at. I do believe. I haven't checked it lately. I probably should have checked it before the show, but I'm running on fumes right now. I'm going to toss it down to Kevin here. Kevin, we talked about the 6-0 loss, obviously, and the effect that had. Senators win was a good win, and you're watching the game. I'm watching the game right now. 6 minutes left in the third. It is 1-1. Getting outshot 25-22 right now. Taylor Hall was just denied on a breakaway. Anyway, what is your takeaway from the last 2 games and, the impact that they have had?
Yeah, I mean, like Chris said, they won the game they should have won, right? I thought Swayman played pretty well. Obviously, again, the shout out, you have to do something, right? So I thought he played pretty well, but, the Carolina game, yeah, they're a good hockey team, but there's a big difference between losing 2-1 to a good hockey team and losing 6-0. You look for someone to step up. You looked for someone to kind of elevate their game, knowing that they're missing arguably 2 out of their best 3 players, in Bergeron and Marchand. So, it was ugly. And watching the game now, they seem to hold their own. Oh, there's about to be a fight. Oh, never mind.
Because the damn refs had to break that shit up. Nosek was about to go all in on Trouba. God damn it.
Right. I mean, it's kind of a lot of what we thought. I honestly said 0-3. I thought they were going to lose to the Senators just because. And I'm glad they didn't. But we can harp on this Marchand all day.
Well, I'm gonna ride that thing out.
Oh boy.
The whole thing is, yeah, okay. There was no. I see both sides of the aisle, right? Like I understand both sides of the argument of, all right, you're not going to hurt him with like he has a helmet on, 1 punch isn't going to hurt him, or the stick up high, like that wasn't going to hurt him. I get it. I get that. You're probably right. You probably have ground to stand on, but at the same exact time, right? Like at the same exact time, flip the script. If that was happening to Swayman or Allmark or Tuukka at the time when he was here, wouldn't you want someone to answer? Wouldn't you want someone to go after him? Wouldn't you want someone to beat the bag out of Marchand and then come bring it back to the Bruins? I'm like, dude, what are you looking to accomplish? Like you did a perfect Brad Marchand-esque thing where he was going to flip a puck to the fan and you just whacked it down. That's perfect. That's your game, getting underneath the skin in a polite kind of like, hey, funny manner. Like that's good. Do that. But then you go to the extreme. Like what were you going to accomplish by punching him in the face? What were you going to accomplish by
what I think he was trying to do?
Trying
to get the team going and riled up, but guess what? Didn't happen. He didn't get.
That's not the way to do it. Like it's just like you have the structure of, all right, I know my history. I'm gonna get suspended for this because of my history. Like, and him appealing it on, oh well, they went off of my past. They literally said that in their statement. That's part of the ruling. So whatever you're trying to appeal, they're gonna look at you and be like, what are you doing? Like, we literally said, yes, that's part of why we suspended you. So what do you want us to do? Like, he's not going to win it. He's going to lose an appeal, and he's going to have to sit out 6 more games. And it's 6 crucial games, guys. Like, that's the other aspect of it's not like we have a huge lead, like yeah, I think we're still on pace for 100 points or whatever it may be. But it's like, guys, 6 games can really derail your season, like really derail it. And that's what we're looking at. And if we'll get into it later, I know on the show notes, it said we'll get into it later, but the whole Bergeron thing too is scary in and of itself. And now you're going to go and do that. And if you were upset about Bergeron, like what happened to Bergeron, fight like a man. Get in a fight with someone. Fight someone. So you sit in the box for 10 minutes, and then you go out. Good. You want to get someone riled up. You wanted to get your team going. Fine. Be like, you know what, guys? Fuck you. If no one else is going to answer, I'll do it. Show you how it's done, and then we'll go from there. You know, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating because he left this part of him behind him. Like, he left this element behind him, I thought. And seeing that it's not that way is it's concerning and it's frustrating.
So you said that's on the list, and it's next on the list. Actually today there was an update that Bergeron will practice and is expected to meet the team in New York and tomorrow, and should be good to go for the Islanders game on Thursday if all goes well. So it was not a concussion like everyone thought it was. There was a cut on the back of his head, which was going to be there was a gash. It was a pretty deep gash, I guess, but he wasn't able to put his helmet on. So, you kind of need your helmet to play the game. It's not like back in the day when you didn't need it. And, you could give a concussion every 2 seconds for just tripping. Anyway, that being said, so obviously the Bergeron thing is the big thing. Obviously the Marchand thing is a big thing. We look at it, we've talked about the Marchand thing quite a bit. Let's look on the other side of things. Before we do, like I said, Marchand's going to appeal. Doesn't mean it's going to work. And if it even does work, he might just get cut down to 4 games, 2 games maybe. So, I mean, regardless, you're looking at at least another game without him. In the next game is Thursday. So let's look at it on the other side of things, Chris. We heard Kevin's take on it. The Bergeron incident is what really started this all. What started Marchand getting feisty with Tristan Jarry and all that stuff. And now hopefully they'll have him back. Hopefully they'll have Bergeron back on Thursday. What's your take on the Bergeron incident? And there's a big loss and the impact he could have coming back on Thursday.
Well, the Bruins, they're going to need to start getting some scorers back. So, you take it for what it is right now. 2 of your top scorers are currently out with both Bergeron and Marchand, and you need to start to get some of that offense back, or at least just the presence that Patrice Bergeron gives, that he can be a goal scorer on the ice, even though, coming off injury, the Bruins are going to need that. So once this team can get back to full strength, and that's with everybody back in that first line, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with that. But, overall, it's a step in the right direction. It means that, if it was a concussion, who knows how long that Bergeron's going to be out for, especially too with his age. You know what I mean? Like, is that going to be something that's going to linger and he was going to miss more time? So thankful that it is what it was with the cut and it wasn't anything more severe. But yeah, guys, I mean, the Bruins are going to need Patrice Bergeron back on the ice. They need to, elevate their scoring again, because, again, you got the doors blown off at 6-0 the other night. You won the other, you were up 2-0 the other with the win over the Senators. And then tonight you only got a goal. I think it's 1-1 right now as we're recording with the Rangers. So yeah, the Bruins, they need to get the presence of having Patrice back on the ice, and that possibility they can, ring one back in the back of the net. So get him back on the ice. Let's go.
And that is 1-1 with 2 minutes left in the game. New York's on the power play with 40 seconds left on that. So they're playing a man down right now. Shots at 27-25 New York Rangers. Actually pretty close. I was kind of surprised by that. Usually the Bruins are getting massively outshot if they're tied or at least down. Usually the only way the Bruins win are if they are getting massively outshot, funny enough. So that being said, we're going to move on to the Beanpot final. We're going to talk a little bit of a college hockey here, which we're going to start doing every week. We're going to just sprinkle in a little college hockey. And, Chris Henrik's new favorite team, Boston University, pulled out the victory at the Beanpot. Any of you two watch that? I wasn't able to watch it. Did either of you two watch that?
No, I was away from the weekend, so
that's right. Yes.
Luckily, falling on Valentine's Day, I had to attend to my better half on probably the dumbest holiday that's ever been invented. But you know
it's
what?
a good thing she doesn't listen to this.
So, and even if she did, I've voiced my opinion. This is dumb. Like, I put no stake in Valentine's Day. I think it's stupid because it's just a makeup holiday and it's a Hallmark holiday and I hate it. So I didn't watch any of it. I was with her. We just kind of did our thing, hung out or whatever. But in the back of my mind, I have to run to the bathroom. That's when you sneak in all right, what's the score of the BU game here? What's going on? What are we doing here? Seemed like a pretty good game. 1-0 final. BU won. So happy to see that. Again, I have an unreasonable hatred for Northeastern. Don't know why. Just don't like them.
I feel like everyone does.
Like
I don't understand it.
They're like the underdog. Like normally it's like you pull for the underdog because it's a change of teams winning it or whatever. Something about them, I'm like, I'm so happy Northeastern lost. Like I just hate BC hockey and Northeastern hockey. Hate them. No idea why. And it's just so glad to see BU pulling it out. But looked like a pretty good game. I think it was like a final 5 minutes of the game. BU scored to win.
Yes, I didn't know. I was following it. I was following updates, but
last 5 minutes, Dylan Peterson with a 2-on-1 on the back of the net got the game winner. And I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce the goaltender.
Oh my God! Why? I don't even know, dude.
For Northeastern?
No, for BU.
TJ Semp.
Yeah, it's Semp.
Felter.
What
we got to do? We got to get him on the podcast and have him say how to pronounce his name. We're gonna have to make that happen.
That's your job. You're the BU fan now. I trust you. You are the BU fan. We got.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you how I spent my Valentine's Day. The wonderful Hallmark holiday. Got out of work, got myself some Chipotle, and ended up getting sick from Chipotle. And I wrapped myself and hugged the porcelain toilet, trying not to throw up. But let me tell you, at the time, the Chipotle was okay. But I think I may have had I don't know if it was the sour cream or the cheese.
Whatever. Chipotle. It's Chipotle. It was probably everything, honestly.
It did not mesh well. So I, while Kevin's ran down to the bathroom and was checking highlights, I was checking what the back of the toilet looked like on Valentine's Day.
How did it look is the question.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you what. We got it clean. We did a little of the toilet bowl cleaner in there with the brush. We're all set. We're good to go. But no, definitely next year I want to go up to the Beanpot. Just see, like we talked about last week, just like seeing what we got to see just on Twitter, just those little clips on Twitter that fans posted, just how electric the energy was inside the TD Garden. And it was great hockey. It was back-to-back weeks of just really good hockey, and you had drama in the championship game that came down to the last 5 minutes. The place was packed. Like what more could you ask for? Like college athletes like laying it all on the line, unlike professional athletes and owners that can't get shit resolved in Major League Baseball. But here you got dudes here that fucking care, about each other. And it was really cool to kind of see those highlights. So next year, Short End Takes, we're going to be on assignment, gentlemen, on assignment live from the Beanpot.
Oh, I hope so. That would be a fun time. I would love to do that. I need to get out of Maine for a little while and see something other than trees. Some nice trees out here, though. I'll give you that. So fantastic trees. We talked about standings, where the Bruins are, and all of that stuff. So let's dive into that a little bit deeper before we talk a little more. Let me hang on one second. We talked about Valentine's Day. I was not hugging the porcelain throne like Chris was, nor was I on a date like Kevin was. I was enjoying my bachelor life, and watching TV and eating my own takeout food, because why not? Today's the best day, honestly, because it's half off candy day, and it's always the day after the holidays.
That's a good point.
You got half off candy day for Valentine's Day, half off candy day for Easter. And, Shaw, me working at Shaw's, I always get first pick. So, hey, I watched the Super Bowl on Sunday, did nothing on Monday. That's the best way to do it, guys. I'm just going to put that out there right now. Bachelor life can be good sometimes. I say sometimes, not all the time. That being said, so we talk about the Bruins standings right now as they are in overtime, 1-1. 5 minutes just started. Panthers still sit in first place, although they are only 1 point ahead of the Lightning right now. 69 points for the Panthers. Nice. 68 for the Lightning. Maple Leafs right on the Lightning's tail too with 65. And then the Bruins at 57. It's starting to close up a bit at that top, though. We talked about that possibly happening. And, the Panthers, I feel like they've been off for a while. When did they play again? Anyone know that? I know.
I did just Google the Florida Panthers, but I don't have their.
They are playing tomorrow. I got them up right now. They're playing tomorrow. They last played. Yeah, they've been off for 14 days.
Yeah, because LA Kings are back today, and they've been off for 14 days too.
Yeah, they last played February 1st. So they're playing the Hurricanes tomorrow at 7:30. Not that it matters, but
no, it always matters. I mean, it's nice to see the team starting to play again. So we said that so the Lightning, obviously, this is a tough schedule coming up for the Bruins. For all teams, because you got what should have been the break for the Olympics, obviously did not happen. By the way, David Krejci was
Men's team USA.
Yep, and women's. And the women's team.
Yeah, women's playing for gold tonight.
They're playing tonight.
Gets Canada, right?
Yep, going to the gold medal if they win tonight.
Speaking of Canada, really quick.
Oh boy,
I fucking hate their red and black jerseys that Canada has. Have you seen those sweaters? That's red, and it's got the black for the with the maple leaf. Like I
forget where it is.
Yeah, I don't want to go all like Michael Felger on everybody and be like, hey, what's the clean like sweater or jersey? I can't imagine being like, Canadian, which I'm not, but like Canadian, and go into the store and be like, you know what? I gotta have that red sweater with the black. With the black maple leaf. Maybe right now, with all the bullshit they got going on up in Ottawa, with that all that nonsense that's happening up there. But like I didn't care for it. I watched a little bit of that game, and I'm not one of those. It's like a jersey and a snob when it comes to that. I just thought they were hideous. But
yeah, no, they are hideous. They are gross. They excuse me. I'm like losing my voice here, but they are ugly, and all they had to do is they can keep the same color scheme but flip it. Like I have a
100%. That would look a lot better.
The Toronto Blue Jays have their hat is black, and then they have the red maple leaf, and it's fresh. It's a good, clean looking jersey.
That what you were looking for? Because I thought you were gonna like get up and pull up the red jersey with the black.
Oh, no, I have it. I have it somewhere. Like I have the hat somewhere around here. It might even be back at my parents' house, but Yeah, it's like a good looking hat. You know, that's all they had to do for the jerseys. But you can say the same thing.
A little shameless promotion, Couch Guy Sports. You can't go to the shop right now because it's not available there, but you can get some other fine things like hooded sweatshirts and t-shirts. This hat here, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, I actually won this for being Q1 most viewed blogger in 2021. Ironically, I was all year most viewed blogger.
Humble brag.
Humble brag. That wasn't a humble brag.
Diego, if you're listening, because I know that you are. What time is this on the podcast? I'm going to tell them the specific time.
9:30.
So how many minutes we in?
30, 50.
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes in.
I'm going to let them know about 33 minutes in that I'm looking for the trophy that I can put on my shelving over there. You can't see it, but it's right behind.
You just said it, so you're just going to say it again at 33?
And you're right.
But yeah, anyways, I'll try to reel back to get us back on track of where
there is no getting us back on track at this point.
The U.S. men's team's jerseys are fucking terrible. Like they're awful. I hate them. They look gross. Their juniors team jerseys are so much better, and it's like, how are you guys allowing this to happen? That's a whole, like, I could go on for an hour long about how badly they've screwed up the Olympics, but that style of, like, that hockey tournament, what's been going on is awesome. It's been great. I got up the last 2 mornings at 8:00. I think they played on Tuesday. So they played Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday morning, 8:00 our time. Got up and watched that, and it was pretty good hockey. Some sloppy stuff. We should beat Germany way worse than we did, but it sounds a lot like the Bruins. So going to tune in tonight at 11. I think the women's take on Canada. Should be a good hockey game.
God, you'll be awake for that. I will not be.
I have to. So that's the thing that's like screwed up about my schedule. I don't go into work until like noon because I work until 8. So it's like, dude, I gotta go to bed later so I sleep later, because when I wake up and know I have to go to work, it's not like I can't do anything else. I'm like, all right, well, I'm up, might as well just go to work. So I end up working 9, 10, 12-hour shifts. It's dumb.
Well, you could say you could honestly say that is shocking, because this podcast is brought to you by Shocked Energy.
That's a segue, right? That's professional.
I try, guys. I really do. We ever feel unable to focus, tired, and just low on energy like Kevin and Chris right now, we understand that feeling. As I feel low on energy too, but that's just me. We understand it so well that Shorthanded Takes, a Boston Bruins podcast, is brought to you by Couch Guy Sports Network and sponsored by our friends over at Shocked Energy. Go to shockedenergy.com and use promo code CGSN today for 10% off. That is promo code CGSN today for 10% off. And we are also brought to you by Exogun. We cannot forget that either. That being said, where were we anyway? We were talking before we delved into the Olympics a little bit. So that should be an exciting game tonight. U.S. men are playing. I don't remember when they're matches, but biggest one right now is U.S. Women playing for gold tonight against Canada. And I know we have a few Canadians on our writers on our network, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. But screw the Canadians, and I hope the go USA. That's all I'm gonna say, because we don't want those Canadians to win. That's for sure. I will say though, David Krejci, his team was eliminated from the Olympics. So, if any of you believers are still out there, Krejci could still make a comeback to the Boston Bruins. Not that they need him or anything. Am I right, Chris? Not that they need him.
I mean, they could use him on the second line. I mean,
how does that work? I'm so confused. This is like, how is he? I thought that ship sailed.
No. Well, no, they've been keeping in contact. I mean, once the Czech season is over in March, he's technically a free agent. It was only a 1-year deal. So.
Oh, I thought if he played a certain number of games over there, he wasn't able to come back
No,
here.
he'll be
going
a free
forward.
agent in March. So, I mean, he could easily come back to the NHL if he wants.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I thought there was reporting out that ship sailed.
There was, and now there's reporting that the ship has also departed, has also docked again, right in Boston Harbor, if that's even
Good.
possible.
Well, hey, you know what? We're gonna need him. I was gonna pose the question. I don't know. We can either do it now or at the end, but I do have a question for you guys.
We'll do it 1 second. I want to finish
Go
these
ahead.
standings first, and then we will delve into your question. So we talked about the Panthers and Lightning being neck and neck. If we're talking about the full standings going into the Metropolitan Division, you got the Hurricanes with 67 and the Penguins with 68 points. So it's pretty tight right at the top of that playoff in the Eastern Conference right now. I said the Bruins have 57. They are 7 points ahead of the Red Wings currently right now. They are 4 points behind the Capitals, and they are now probably 7 or 8 behind Toronto and the Rangers, who are they currently playing right now with 6 seconds left, most likely going to a shootout, barring a miracle. And then you go over to the Western Conference. I'm sorry. The Avalanche sit in first with 72 points. In the Central Division, with the Wild with 63 and the Predators with 60. The Pacific Division, that is a brutal division. Golden Knights with 59 points, Flames with 58 points, Kings with 55 points, Coyotes 28 points. By the way, guys, just saying. If you really want to know who's bad, the Canadians have lost 10 in a row. They currently sit at 8 wins and 23 points.
Have you seen the new the pics of the arena that
the Arizona
are going to share?
It's
a shit show.
oh boy.
What, though? Like, it's a little intimate. I feel like they're going to be able to get the 3,500 people to fit inside there. Like,
I mean, all 2 people that are going to be there.
No. All right. Now I do have another question just on that. But wouldn't you like? Part of me seeing that, I'm like, I want to go out and experience that. Like, I want to see what that shit show's about. Same thing with the Trop in baseball down in Tampa. Like, I want to see how bad of a shit show it really is. Just to be like, I've experienced this. Okay, obviously I'm never coming back here again. But yep, I experienced the Trop. I experienced the Coyotes when they were out in playing on a college campus, which is bizarre, but that's a different conversation.
Seats 5,000 people. I'm sorry. So seats 5,000 people. You got it right on the college campus. You'll be able to attract. Think about it. This isn't like your standard NHL business plan, but you're going to be able to attract. That's going to get you that college crowd every night. You're going to get rowdy college kids inside there. They're going to be loud. You're probably going to get transplanted kids from the Northeast, probably from, decent hockey towns that are going to understand the sport. Maybe this is something that the NHL is going to, again, not 5,000 people is not ideal, if you're going to have an NHL franchise, but who knows? Maybe the NHL wants to try to do things down the line where they, have pop-up venues and they do all this kind of like random shit like that, in different markets or whatever. Like, this could be a good little test to try different things out. And maybe the Coyotes are the guinea pigs for it. But, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, granted, they need to get the Coyotes out of Arizona. They need to get them into a true city that's going to appreciate what they have. But in the meantime, try this out. See what you got with the whole thing. See what this could potentially yield and bring.
I dig it. Yeah, no, 100%. I've been saying it for a while now that, it was a failed experiment in Arizona. It should have never been in Arizona to start with. It was just an absolute, I want to say shit show, but I feel like we've said shit show a lot today. So it's an absolute crapshoot. It's a crapshoot of a team right now. everything that could go wrong for that team has gone wrong for that team. You literally, all you had to do was pay your bills. And, you know, you wouldn't be in this situation of, you know, splitting with a freaking college hockey team and playing in a college arena. You just had to pay your bills. And, you know, this is they're making the Tampa Bay Rays look good with their stadium. And that's hard to do. And they're literally Tampa Bay just tried to split games between Montreal and freaking Tampa Bay. Arizona at least can stick with Arizona. I mean, I don't mean to compare baseball to hockey because it's two completely different things, but stadium wise, Jesus Christ, can you imagine going between Florida and Montreal?
No, I see that. So I get it into two different perspectives because one, it's a good test for MLB because arguably at some point the Rays have to they have to shit or get off the pot. You either got to go and get out of St. Pete and build somewhere else, or you need to get up and go. So testing out the Montreal market again to truly see what the vibe is, and if there is an actual true crowd there for long sustainable baseball, I can understand that. This NHL thing, again, you have to find a temporary home for this team, so you've done that. Now see what you can do to experiment with that. If the Coyotes don't play the ASU hockey men's hockey team down there, then that's a travesty. Like that to me, like right then and there. Like, do you think that the NHL, the Knicks of the NHL, would have thought about that? I hope they did. I'm hoping that they're gonna do that because you're gonna fill that crowd. You're gonna fill that place in with 5,000 people. ESPN is gonna have it. You're gonna have eyes onto that, and you're gonna get some excitement down. God forbid if ASU is to beat the Coyotes, like that would be a whole other piece on there. But no, sports are evolving, and I think that as fans we need to embrace that. Not everybody wants to embrace it. Every sport is evolving, and they're doing something different. Major League Baseball, at some point, it's going to be different when they come back. We're going to have universal DH. There's, they're changing some rules when it comes around for contracts. I'm making up word. Contractions along those lines there. The NHL is going to experiment. They're going to be playing out in Europe pretty soon. The NHL, again, like, why not do little small, intimate style venues with smaller crowds? Who knows if little pop-up events don't really work, or maybe work in markets that you're having a tough time drawing a crowd, do something different to create a buzz and get some chatter. I don't know if NHL truly needs that, but Arizona needs something. So I'm cool with what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. It's a little different, but I mean, it's Arizona. They're a different team. I mean, they suck, so they might as well get some publicity somehow. We know Kevin's take on it. I could just tell by the look on his face, and you saw the way. If you're watching this on the video on YouTube, his eyes lit right up when we talked about possibly Arizona losing to ASU, which it's totally possible. I mean, yes, they're national. I could see the Canadians losing to a college hockey team more than I can see the Arizona Coyotes. But that point aside, you look at it. What is the? I didn't expect to go down this road, but here we are now. That's good because I wasn't allowed to talk about today. Looking at the situation for Arizona right now, give me one relocation that you would like to see them move to. And I'll ask you this as well, Chris, after. Give me one site that you would like to see an NHL team move to if Arizona was to move.
Oh, that's tough. You can obviously go the Hartford Whalers route and be like, bring them back. Everyone's been kind of pushing for that.
Connecticut had a hockey team, right?
I agree.
They almost
I
did
agree
too. You know what I mean? Like Connecticut is that middle, piece between New York and New England. I mean, I know Connecticut's in New England. Fuck Connecticut.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying we should put it there. I don't know. I mean, you look around. You have Vegas who came in. You have Seattle who came in. I think LA is a bigger market than people give it credit for. Man, I don't know. This is what I guess I'll go a completely random place that no one would think of that could possibly, if done the correct way, be awesome. Texas. Feel like it would just be a completely random, like you fits your similar Arizona type like weather. But Texas, I feel like with their environment they have down there can really buy into
Like Houston, I think?
yeah, whatever, and the way I would do it is I think Philly has a great system in place where they have a giant, I don't even know, like mall. I'll call it a mall for lack of a better word. But if you've ever been out there, it's the Philly Stadium is right there. You turn one more time. The Philadelphia 76ers are right there. Like they're all in a block of each other, and it's great. And in the middle of it is a giant restaurants, bars, like all in one area, and it's just a great environment. If you went to an area like Texas or Houston or somewhere in that area and did something similar and put it in the same general vicinity of where the Texans play, or if you want to go down to Arlington, do it down in where the Rangers play, and just do something similar to what Philly does, I think that would be a great success. I think that's an environment that no one's really thought of because it will be tough to do, but if done correctly, could work. I think it could be a pretty popular area because I think you would end up getting a lot of people that buy into it.
So I wouldn't mind seeing, if we're going to reintroduce a team back to the NHL, the Hartford Whalers. I know there's the nostalgia. I mean, the product and the merch is cool, but if we're going to reintroduce a team, let's bring back the Quebec Nordiques. But here's why I don't think they're going to do that. Because at the time, though, like Quebec, I think they were like the smallest market in the NHL. You know what I mean? Like, and if you start to think about what cities are left, like where can you go from a market standpoint that makes sense? Yeah, I think Texas isn't a bad play. I think Houston, that market could probably support a team.
I also think just you can't look Canada. I think the NHL is so pissed at how Canada's handled everything.
I think you stay out of there. Why not like Portland, Oregon? I think that's like the second biggest city out in the Midwest. I know you have the Kraken and you got Vancouver, but just that little like triangle, like not even triangle, but that like little like that area, those three cities of what that little rivalry could look like. Portland is a huge city. It's an untapped fan base. You have the Trailblazers, but really other than that, there's nothing else out there. That fan base either is going to gravitate towards teams in California and root there, or they're going to root for the Mariners, or they're going to root for the teams up, or the Seahawks, something like that, from like that fan base. So why not start to bring in teams out there? Nike is out in Portland. Just think about what Nike would try to do with an NHL hockey team out there. That's in their backyard now. So I think that the fan base would love it. I think that the fan base they could support that. Another reason why I think they could too is, I don't know if it was on ESPN Plus or if I saw it on Netflix, and I can't remember the name of it either, but there's a documentary I watched when the pandemic started about minor league baseball. And there was a minor league baseball team that was out in Portland that ended up basically getting like contracted away from minor league baseball, kind of like what Rob Manfred wants to do in Major League Baseball right now. He wants to cut all kinds of jobs and everything else. Talk about a clown show. I'm going to look it up in a little bit when I stop rambling for a second to find out the name of it. But this like documentary on this like one team out in Portland, Oregon. I can't think of the fucking name of it either. Shit, it's going to bug me. Anyway, it was a great watch. It's so great I can't remember it, but it was a really good watch. And if you're in, like, it just kind of gives you a little bit of like a into the mind of what that fan base would be like. I'm going to go Portland because I think it's different. I think it's untapped, and you keep them out west. You don't have to worry about figuring out what you're going to do between the west and the east. You can still keep them out west, and I think you're fine there. What they'd be called, I have no clue. Let's go to Portland.
Yeah, I don't. I think another one. Just thinking of it too. Maybe you go down North Carolina, South Carolina, that area, and you add another like East Coast type of
They're the
team.
Bruins.
Yeah, they lost in a shootout, 8-9 round shootout.
It was
Swayman stood on his head. That's all I can
Imagine
say.
if you had a forward who could have scored for you.
I'm gonna. Usually, I would agree with you on that. I don't know if anyone was scoring on Shesterkin in that round after.
There was points tonight where we were talking about different things, and I was going through Twitter, and I saw a lot of really good things about the goaltending in New York and all that other stuff.
Yeah, Shesterkin's been lights out.
I'm getting my 98 vibes out of me. 98.5, where you got to go and completely shit on everything Boston. You know,
No, it's fine. Before we wrap up, so yeah, that was a 9-round shootout for the Bruins. I want to say that I would like to see a team in Michigan.
Michigan, that would be a good one.
Only because I mean, come on, it's the literally hockey world over there. That's all they care about is hockey. I mean, look how good the friggin' Michigan hockey team, college hockey team is, for Christ's sakes. It's like the perfect place for them to do it. Plus you could be
Ohio would be another one.
Yes, and plus you could be rivals with Minnesota. I mean, come on now, that's like perfect.
Yeah,
next door neighbors, literally. But anyway, that being said, we're going to wrap it
really quick. I found the name of that podcast. It's called The Battered Bastards of Baseball. The documentary. It's about an hour and 20 minutes on Netflix, and I recommend it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. You'll get a good good background really on that area, and just I recommend that. Also, really quick, I want to throw one other thing out there before we begin to wrap it up, and I know that Kevin is going to want to throw something out there too. The Winter Classic, gentlemen, come back to Fenway Park.
We're gonna make an appearance of that too.
I think we should. I think we should get press passes.
I think that's where we take this thing worldwide. We got to go there. We got to make this happen. I wanted to go to the last one at Fenway, but it didn't really work out with work. But I think we got plenty of time to plan this out. I think it's what the people would want.
Yeah.
No one else on a Couch Guy podcast wants to take their show on the road. Let's do it.
Let's try it out. Maybe we even start with the Hockey East tournament this year. You know what I mean? Show that we can do it. Smaller, whatever.
Work
Hockey
our way
East
up.
tournament and then work. Yeah. Hey, we did this. We did the Hockey East. It was great. Now let's do the Winter Classic and see what happens.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. Just off the top of your heads, I guess. With Bergeron and Marchand being out, right? Does this change your thoughts on how the Bruins should approach the deadline? Like,
Yes.
Does it change of like, wow, we really thought we were a lot deeper, a lot closer, a lot whatever, so we thought we should go this route? Or do you look at it now where I'm kind of sitting here thinking, the Rangers game getting a point from the Rangers is huge, but I look at it as we're still pretty thin. Is this a team worth completely investing in, taking out a side that I think Sweeney has no choice because I think his job's on the line? Taking that aspect out, looking at how the team is constructed, whatever. Does it change either of yours opinion on how they should approach the deadline?
No, I think here's the deal. Unless there is some sort of massive collapse between now and the trade deadline, the Bruins are going to be active as more of a buyer than really a seller. I don't really see them trading off any spare parts. Like, to be honest with you, I'd be shocked if they traded Jake DeBrusk unless you're going to get a bigger piece back and he's part of a trade, and who knows what the value is really in Jake DeBrusk. But yeah, I think they need to address some depth. I think you 100% hit that on the head. And I think we're seeing it. They have some guys who've come up that have played well. Oscar Steen, he's played well. He's filled some voids for them. Jake DeBrusk has had moments as well. I think we've seen Vakanainen as well go ahead, and up until he got hurt, he gave them a jolt of energy. He showed a little bit of life in the defensive side. I've said and maintained for the last handful of weeks we recorded that I want to see this team go out and add to the defense, and I still think they need to do that. I still also think now, like, I think you got to address the offense. You know, can Stanika step up? Can he be someone that takes that next step from now up until the trade deadline? And maybe you don't need to go out and get a massive piece. You can get a complementary depth piece to the team. I'm not sure, but right now, to kind of just really kind of hammer on that question, connect the dots here. Yes, the Bruins need to go out and find some depth based off of the fact that they do have an aging core. And sometimes when you have injuries, that shit seems to nag. And who knows what happens further with Bergeron. You know what I mean? Like, he takes another bad hit. Can he miss more time? Go out, get the depth, get some more offensive depth, get someone else for the blue line. See what happens in the postseason.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do think they do need to still make a move here, especially since you don't know what, like Chris said, you don't know what's going to happen to Bergeron. That's going to linger, most likely, and any injury can linger. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen with Brad Marchand at this point? I mean, you never know. You never know. Usually, yes, we have seen him, turn the tide. We've seen him turn the tide over the years, but you never know when it's going to have another spat like that. You just don't know when that's going to happen. And now you're seeing the effects of, what happens when you do lose them both. And now you're seeing what the Bruins are going to look like in a couple of years if you lose them both. That being said, though, I will say I'm very impressed that they went 9 rounds with a red hot, 9 rounds of shootout with a red hot Rangers team, and your depleted roster with Trent Frederick doing a friggin' shootout, for Christ's sakes. I want to address something because I just watched this.
The Rangers had a goaltending change with 40 seconds left in overtime.
Yeah, there's a concussion issue. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of takes the wind out of the sails. You got to be able to be in Pasternak's. I don't know if you guys watch it. His attempt was awful, terrible, good garbage. Like, he just almost completely stopped and then just tried to beat him with a wrist shot. And I think the goalie just kind of put his glove on and deflected it away.
Wait, was this in shootout or at the end of the game?
Shootout.
Okay. Yes, Shesterkin was still in net in the shootout.
I thought so what happened with the goalie change?
So it was a quick goalie change because they needed a concussion protocol check. And then he cleared,
okay. All right,
and then came back in.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fine.
He was
Fair
back
enough. All right.
Either way, I don't want to
stand by it.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. I agree with that.
I guess to put my 2 cents in on the trade deadline aspect and why I posed this question quickly is we've been thin as a team for years, and we've known that we've needed to add depth, and we haven't successfully done so in years past. So that's where my kind of worry creeps in. Yeah, we need to get deeper. Every team, you can make an argument, probably needs to get deeper. We haven't done it successfully. So how do you approach that? And that's kind of where I'm at. And I think, I think Sweeney has no choice. He has no choice but to go out and make a move to emphasize this last final push. And I hope he proves me wrong, but I'm not holding my breath on it. And it's sad.
Yeah, no, 100%, because, it's Don Sweeney, and you just never know with him. And, it's not a Brad Stevens-esque move at this point. Anyway, so, no, that was a great question, by the way, Kevin. It was very, very good. You got something really, really quick, Chris?
We didn't talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but this isn't a football podcast.
Well, we talked about Tom Brady retiring.
Okay, what do you want to say about the Super Bowl then?
Well, 1, I wanted the Bengals to win, and they didn't. 2, the Larry David commercial was absolutely hilarious.
Hey, that was hilarious, and the crypto commercial.
I'm gonna say that crypto commercial, like that
crashed crypto Coinbase. That crashed it. The little.
What I'm saying, like, that's genius though. Like,
oh, dude, it was fantastic. That was marketing.
think about
galore.
it. You're the person that was like that thought of that. You know what I mean? Like you are now like aces in in that marketing like firm's book. Like that was phenomenal. Like I remember I was at the bar, I was watching the Super Bowl and just seeing that and figuring out like what the hell that actually was. And I literally was watching people get up out of their seats at their tables and they're taking their phone going up to the TVs. And I was just like, and then finally someone was like, oh, it's just crypto. I'm like, oh, well.
It's kind of, it's a great ad. It was a great ad.
Did you have a favorite ad or were you able to even watch the Super Bowl, Kevin?
Yeah, I watched it.
Other than on your phone in the bathroom.
No, I was still away at this point. I was away with some family that thoroughly enjoys a few too many adult beverages. So we had a good time. We got after it. And we were a little banged up when the Super Bowl came on, but it was good. It was I was of sound mind, I believe, at the beginning, and come halftime show was great. I loved it. I think my favorite, just because I'm kind of rewatching this from start to end, is The Sopranos when they took the two kids and used it. Like I love that just because
that was pretty good.
I'm in the middle of it right now, and I'm the youngest of the cousins that were there, so they all have seen it and they all like got it. And I was like, oh, that was a really, really good commercial, really cool. It kind of teased the notion of, oh, we coming back? Is there something else coming? So it kind of got your hopes up, and it was good attention grabbing commercial, and then obviously having your attention to drop that. It was, I forget what brand it was, what car company was, Chevy or whatever, but I thought that was a pretty good commercial.
100%, and it was just a great show, great halftime show, great everything, great game. It was nice not to have to really hate anybody in that Super Bowl. So it's nice just to not have to root for any team, and just you don't really care who wins. So
and now we get to segue from the NFL, the Super Bowl, into this is a good time to plug what you got going on Couch Guy Sports.
Oh yes, sorry, I had to think for a second. My God, it's been one of those weeks.
That is not a professional segue, folks. That is not how it's done.
That is not how it's done. 100%. Yes, Matty B and I are collaborating on NFL Draft this year. We will be doing a big draft coming up in the coming months, and until then, I will be once a week writing now. Every Sunday I will be releasing draft related things. This coming Sunday I have team needs coming out, team needs, key free agents and all that stuff, and of course we'll still have the podcast coming up on Wednesdays. So that's going to be what my future for the next couple of months are going to look like. I love the NFL draft, everything about it. And I'll be releasing 3 mock drafts between now and the draft itself. So it's going to be an exciting time. I would say that I need a break from NFL, but I don't need a break from the NFL. I'm excited to be continuing this because there is no baseball right now. So I got to look ahead to something. And if the Bruins don't do shit at the trade deadline, I'm going to be really looking towards a draft season. Speaking of the Bruins, we just talked about it. They lost 9 rounds in a shootout to the Red Hot Rangers. So that being said, we look ahead. Now, next Tuesday, I don't believe we're going to be on. I have Maine high school basketball tournaments going on all night, and the last game is at 9:00. So I will not be here for that. Now, if Kevin and Chris decide to do something, they can. If not, then we will be back the week after next. But until then, just in case, we're going to look ahead to 2 Tuesdays from now, schedule-wise. So they stay in New York. They will play the Isles on Thursday with the hope that they get Bergeron back. They then head north of the border again to play the Senators on Saturday. They will then come home for 1 game on Monday where they will play the Avalanche. And then the fun begins. The fun begins when they next Thursday, they will start a West Coast trip. They will start their annual West Coast trip where they will be at the Kraken on Thursday. They will then head to San Jose on Saturday. They then head to play the LA Kings on Monday, and they close out the trip by playing at Anaheim on Tuesday. So they're working their way. They're starting up and working their way down. Brutal stretch coming up, guys. It's not going to be pretty. And I think we're 3 games into Brad Marchand's suspension right now. So you really are hoping you get Bergeron back for that game on Thursday against the Islanders. I mean, they might not be that good this year, but they're a team you do not want to look past. And obviously the Senators are another team you don't want to look past either. But once you get to that Avalanche game on Monday, once you get to that West Coast trip, you got some good teams on that West Coast trip. You got all 10 o'clock games, by the way, guys. So if you really want to stay up and watch them, feel free to. I probably won't be. But anyway, Chris, give me your hot take for the upcoming schedule, including the West Coast trip.
First game, Brad Marchand scores a hat trick and just shoves everything that I said directly at me. That's my hot take.
Is it bad that I hope that happens?
You know what though? it would be fitting, right? But no, that's what I think it is. First game back, he just comes back. He's pissed. He's angry. He's upset. Drops 3. Hats are flying. That's the hot take.
He says, fuck Chris Henrique in his post-game press conference. Straight up. I don't know who the hell that guy is, but I watched the podcast and
on the show we can chat. I will deny anything I ever said.
Or else you're gonna get a stick to your face.
Or you're gonna punched.
Yeah, either one. Wear a helmet though, and then you will be protected a little bit better. Kevin, so Chris says that there's gonna be a hat trick by Marchand and it's gonna be shoved up his ass, apparently. 2 completely different things, I'm sure, at that point. What is your hot take for the upcoming stretch of games, including the West Coast trip?
Yeah, I like Chris's take. What I was going to kind of go with was at least the next 3 games up until Monday. So the Islanders, Senators, and Avs. They're going to go 3-0. Marchand and Bergeron are going to go off. And in one of the games, I think probably the next game, they're going to win 5-1. Bergeron's going to have a goal. Marchand, I'll feed off of Chris's take, the hat trick. But I think the 2 of them, Marchand and Bergeron, are the 5 goals, whether it be assists or finding the back of the net. I think the 2 of them come off and, they go on a 3-0 run here and shove all of the hatred and doubt that we just had about this team right up our asses, like Chris said.
Wow, something about shoving stuff up our asses tonight. I don't.
We're in a frisky mood. All right.
This is couch guy sports after hours. I don't know. I
got to tell you what. Some of the things that I've seen tweeted by the others underneath the umbrella of this brand.
Yes. We're well within the
we
guidelines.
won't name names, but there was
a might need a restraining order.
I was just about to say that. The whole Maple Leafs team may also need a restraining order by the end of it. Just saying. And Dylan Larkin by the way too of Detroit. Great people though. You don't need to put a restraining order against them. They're having fun, and that's all that matters. And you know what? I respect it. Just the Sean McVay love though. I don't see it, but I'm not gonna.
Now he's got a championship ring, so
Sean McVay is what they're calling him now.
Apparently now, if you listen to 98.5, he's a better coach than Bill Belichick. So that's
just
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh wow. Okay, that's the way to end the show right there. Just jump right down that rabbit hole. I ain't going there.
What seems to be forgotten is Bill Belichick beat him in the Super Bowl, but we'll continue.
And only allowed 3 points. You're saying,
right? Would the score have been different if they had, Frat Stafford.
Oh,
which-
100%.
Here's the thing, too. I want to just end this right now.
We're now a football podcast, guys.
Well, football, baseball, hockey, whatever the hell you want us to be.
What real takes? The Homer podcast. Step aside. We're gonna give you a real take right here. Matt
Oh, boy.
Stafford is not a Hall of Famer.
No,
Ooh.
no.
Joe Flacco is more of a Hall of Famer.
Ooh.
agree with
Ooh. Ooh, I like it.
How's that for the?
Feisty. Even though I'm on the other side of that, but I'm gonna leave that. I'm just a big Matt. I'm just a big Matt Stafford fan. That's all. That's just my Matt Stafford favoritism coming out. But that aside, I think we've gone from frisky to feisty to everything in between. I think that's going to close the show out for probably 2 weeks now, given the fact that I won't be here next week. I think we need a 2-week break after that. I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot of things that were said today that I don't know if I have to rethink my whole life about. So with that being said, this has been episode 18 of Shorthanded Takes, the Boston Bruins podcast, brought to you by Shocked Energy. Head over to shockedenergy.com and use promo code CGSN today for 10% off your next order. That is CGSN. Use that today for 10% off your next order. We are also brought to you by Exogun, the massage therapy gun. Like I said, most likely we will be back in 2 weeks from now after the Bruins West Coast trip. If I survive tournament week, 5 minutes down the road for me. If I don't, well, you guys can battle over who wants to be the new host. I don't really care. But
we can do open auditions.
Yeah, that works too. I mean, maybe the Sean McVay lovers would like to join in with you guys. You guys can.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
You guys can.
We're going to have a really rigorous, program to fill your shoes because you keep this together.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I do it, but I do it somehow, some way. But like I said, episode 18.
I just applied for press passes for the Frozen 4.
Did you really?
Wow.
All three of us, we're on an application right now.
We are heading to TD fucking Garden, people. Let's go.
I applied. I mean, there's a 99% chance they're going to say no. So
You never know.
Let me tell you what. If they say yes, we're going to need a whole team. We're going to need someone with a camera. We're going to do like a 24, like a type of show at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, just a day in the life of what it was like for us, to go to the 20. Fuck, the kids are going to play on the ice. It's going to be all about us. We're going to have that right on YouTube. We're going to have someone talking it the whole day.
I love it.
That'd be awesome.
I hope we get in now. I really hope we get in. But like I said, that is Shorthanded Takes episode 18, a very hectic and chaotic episode. I don't even know what we really talked about today, but we got stuff done.
Last week was the explicit episode. Last week, I think we swore more than like any time that we've ever recorded.
Yeah, we did. And I don't know. I don't think we barely swore this week, but
This week, episode 18, you can go into the package store, buy a pack of cigarettes. That's what this episode can do.
Yeah.
Jeff, take us home. Let's go.
I'm Jeff Hoke. That's Chris Henrique. That's Kevin Perdios. And this has been, once again, episode 18 of Shorthanded Takes, a Boston Bruins podcast, brought to you by the Couch Guys Sports Network.